Sri Prabhupada has been calling this verse as the ISKCON peace formula, the universal peace formula. Let's change the Mangalacharan. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamine Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Vaishnavebhyo namo. So, I'd like to offer my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas are like the desire-trees. They can fulfill any and all the desires. So, I have a humble prayer at the lotus feet. So with that prayer and with that mood, let's see what we can discuss on this verse. So, we'll read the verse. First we'll read the verse. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surhadam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shanti mechati. Please. Almost the entire congregation can speak this verse without saying, right? Like everybody knows this verse, right? So let's read the verse now. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The conditioned souls within the consciousness of the illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world. But they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of the Bhagavad-Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this. Lord Krishna is beneficiary in all human activities. Man should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord, because he is the proprietor of all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than he. He is greater than greatest of the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. In the Vedas, Svetas Pashatar Upanishad 6.67, the Supreme Lord is described as Tamishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they serve. But actually they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material nature, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands these bad facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in the world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. The fifth chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of mental speculation as to how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered here. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with the complete knowledge of the Lord as the predominator. Such work is not different from transcendental knowledge. Direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga is a path leading to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna consciousness means to work in full knowledge of one's relationship with the Supreme Absolute, and the perfection of this consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of God. A pure soul is the eternal servant of God as his fragmental part and parcel. He comes into contact with Maya, illusion due to the desire to lord it over Maya, and that is the cause of his many sufferings. As long as he is in contact with matter, he has to execute work in terms of material necessities. Krishna consciousness, however, brings one into spiritual life even while one is within the jurisdiction of matter. For it is an arousing of spiritual existence by practice in the material world. The more one is advanced, the more he is freed from the clutches of matter. The Lord is not partial toward anyone. Everything depends on one's practical performance of duties in Krishna consciousness, which helps one control the senses in every respect and conquer the influence of desire and anger. And one who stands fast in Krishna consciousness, controlling the above mentioned passions, remains factually in the transcendental stage of Brahma Nirvana. The Eightfold Yoga mysticism is automatically practiced in Krishna consciousness because the ultimate purpose is served. There is a gradual process of elevation in the process of Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. But these only preface perfection by devotional service, which alone can award peace to the human being. It is the highest perfection of life. So thus ends the purport by Srila Prabhupada for this verse. So it's about 7 o'clock now. We try to finish by 7:30 so we can have some discussion if somebody has some questions, right? So I'll go a little fast. Please let me know, because I thought we'd have about an hour. Now we have only kind of 35 minutes, 30 minutes. So this chapter is titled as the Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And many of you know, it started with Krishna's question, what should I do? Should I act?
Arjuna's question.
Yes, Arjuna's dilemma. And yes, Arjuna's dilemma, should I work or should I renounce? You know, karma versus jnana, action versus knowledge, and knowledge means renunciation. What should I do? Should I fight or should I renounce all action as knowledge is better than action? So Krishna actually in the last chapter, in the verses number 41 and 42, we'll read it very quickly. Krishna is saying that, actually this verse is one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge. So, if your doubts are gone by knowledge, then you are situated factually in the self, right? Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. So, what does this tells? If we look at the actual verse, it tells us that, it says that Jnana Sanchinna, Jnana Sanyasta. I think the in actual verse is that Karma Sanyasta, the knowledge, yeah. Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchinna Sanshayam Atmavantam na Karmani Nibadnanti Dhananjaya. So basically, in this verse, the knowledge has been glorified. That somebody who has knowledge, nothing bothers him. His doubts have been. Now, Arjuna is understanding sannyasta. Arjuna is giving the emphasis over here on sannyasta, renouncing the sannyasta karmanam, yoga sannyasta karmanam. But only, see, by the mercy of the acharyas, only when we know that what is actually yoga sannyasta karmana means act in devotional service.
Renouncing the fruit. of
Right.
wish.
And then renouncing the fruits. But I mean, this could definitely give people a kind of another perspective that okay, I don't have to work. If I have knowledge, why should I work? That's the. And then Krishna therefore says that therefore the doubts which has arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. That means okay, then I'm right. I should not fight. My doubt. If I have knowledge, I'm the spirit soul. Why do I have to fight? But then Krishna says at the end, I'm with yoga. Oh Bharata, stand and fight. So then he says, what is this going on? You are telling me one who is in knowledge doesn't need to act. One who is in knowledge, and then you are telling me that destroy your doubts by knowledge, and then you are telling me fight. What should I really do? That's the dilemma. Arjuna here has this. From this, we can discuss more on this one, but let's move to the next one. So Arjuna's Lord is answering throughout the chapter. Krishna is working, but right on the dot. He says right on the second verse. Krishna is actually telling him. So we can go to the here. Okay. Right on this second verse, Krishna is telling that working is better than giving up the work. In short, that's the personality of Godhead replied. The renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. If you have noticed, everywhere, whenever Krishna is being asked, he gives the direct answer, right? And then he explains throughout that one. Chapter 9, chapter 7, chapter 12, everywhere, chapter 15, Krishna would give the answer right in the second question, right? As the direct, but then he will elaborate on this one. And so he said, okay, it's better for you to work. That's his answer. But then, Krishna is asking to give up the fruits and also attachment to it also. Attachment to the fruits, attachment to the work, and both, and give up the fruits also, giving up all those things. Then somebody would say, why? Then why should I work? And then Krishna says that, okay, then you dedicate offering your fruits to me. And anybody would ask, why? Why should I give it to you? What's the reason? So that's where Krishna, let's look at just quickly those verses where Krishna is asking Arjuna to give up the fruits of his work. 10 and 12, I think throughout chapter that, but it says that one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, he is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Sounds good, very good theoretically, but how do we do that? Then he says again in the verse number 12, the steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So, the question is there. Question here is, Krishna is asking us that why, you should offer the fruits of your action to me. And then we can say that, okay, he's saying that he is the real enjoyer, But so what? Tell me, anybody of you work and give me the fruits, wouldn't I enjoy it? That applies to all of us. You guys can say, you guys go to work and give the fruits to me, right? Just now, Prabhuji told us that we need funds. Everybody, all of you work and give the funds to us or me. That would make, that's a very kind of, anybody would say, Krishna, what's the big deal? You are asking the same thing this world is asking. Work for me. Work for me. Work for me. Right? Family says, work for me. Daddy, wife, husband, mother, father, Beta, we need this, we need this. What is this going on? Krishna, you are the same like everybody else. What's the difference here? Okay. So we can see that, why do we work, right? Why do we work? Sometimes people said, oh, I mean, that, oh, there is so much. One of my friend was sending the message to his boss that, the outside is so bad, I can't come. Then the boss sent the message, whether you want to work for your wife or work for me, you decide, and if you stay home, then you have to work for both of us. If you come to office, then you will work for me only. So, so we work by fear. Then if we have to pay so many bills and so many things, so we work by force. Most of us desires, you want to get so many things, better car, better house, better, more, right? Some of us work as an obligation also, right? Because it's my duty, right? They're paying me, might as well I work, right? They're paying me for 8 hours, might as well I work, But I think this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that the 4 purpose for working, right? Then we work out of love also. That no, this is mine. I love them. For them, anything I will do that. Basically, it's love. Even when fear, desires, obligation, whatever love is projected somewhere else, right? We are afraid, so that work to try to protect those things. That's why we work, right? We all basically work out of love, but we essentially don't know where to repose our love. Who is the real object of my love, right? Sometimes power, prestige, position, things on, and I love that, and that's why I work. I'm afraid of not losing my reputation, and that's why I work. I work so hard. I have to be on top, right? So we all basically work for those are the first three things are the apparent causes, but actual cause is the love. And then, so who should we love? Who is our dear most friend? Krishna is saying over here, Surhadam Sarvabhutanam. Surhadam Sarvabhutanam. That meaning is that who is the well-wisher. That is a definition of given of the friend, and then there are different categories of friend. But Surhadam is a benefactor, one who loves, unconditionally, one who thinks about you, no matter what you do, right? That's kind of so. How do we know that Krishna is our Surhadam? How do we know that, guys? Tell me, how do we know Krishna is our dearmost friend? How do we know that? Can anybody tell me that? I'm sorry, I have lost my usual because of the pace. Usually I like to interact, and that gives me the time to think about the next topic. So somehow today, okay, how do we know that Krishna is our best friend?
How do we know?
Okay.
Krishna is within our heart. Krishna is with us.
Absolutely. It is Krishna himself is saying. Who is more truthful than him? Right? Who is more truthful when Krishna himself is saying that I am your dearmost friend? That's why. So now we can look for some from the past times. And again, I will go much fast forward. The past times are that the Brahma Vimohan Lila, right? Who doesn't know the Brahma Vimohan Lila? All of you know that, right? How did Brahmaji got bewildered? So, we know this. We know the past times. The Brahmaji came. Lord Brahma came to see Lord Krishna after he killed the Aghasur. So all the demigods were so happy because Aghasur was 96 miles long. Aghasur is 96 miles long. You cannot imagine even a creature which is a python as long as 96 miles. So, yes, you want to say something?
8 miles, right?
Huh?
8 miles?
No, I think it's 96 miles. Yojanas.
8 miles. Because now was 12 miles and Agasu was.
Yeah, so maybe it's Yojana. So maybe we can verify. Maybe in some kalpa, some place it will be 96 miles. Don't worry. This is I think it's not a steady. So after the Aghasur was being killed, everybody was so happy that they came to see Krishna. So Lord Brahmaji couldn't hold himself, and he actually came to see Krishna. And at that time, Krishna was having his midday meal with his friends, and everybody was exchanging loving exchanges, and how it goes in families, that they are actually eating from each other's hand or even mouth, you know. So then they think, wow, what is this going on? This boy couldn't be the Supreme Lord. Somehow Brahmaji got bewildered, and Brahmaji, so in order to make Krishna, he wanted to taste Krishna, and what he did, he took away his Krishna's calves. And then all the boys noticed that, my dear Lord, hey Krishna, what happened? Where are our cows? All the cows are gone. Then Krishna says, okay, you guys continue, I will go and find out the cows. So Krishna goes and looks for the cows, and when he comes back, Brahmaji takes away the boys also. So now, after when Krishna comes back, he is neither able to see his boys, neither is able to see the cows. Everybody gone. So after everybody gone, so Krishna says, wow, what is this going on? And he immediately realizes. So he expands himself into as many cows and as many boys. So the Brahmaji got bewildered for quite long, for whole 1 year. He goes here and here, both places he sees the cows and boys. They are here also and they are there also. So then the question comes over here, while this entire pastime happened, all the mothers and cows, they become so much more attached to the cows and boys. Normally, everybody is so attached to Krishna. So then this was so bewildering, and even when the cows had for the whole 1 year, so cows had the new calves, all of them had new babies. They are still attached to their older cows. So one day, when they were on the top of the Govardhan, they saw that babies downstairs, and nobody could control them. So the older cowherd boys, they become very upset. That what is this? These boys never listen to us, as always. They brought the cows here, they brought their cows here, and all the cows became out of control. So they felt ashamed, and at the same time they were very irritated also. So they also came behind their cows, running behind that. But when they saw all the boys, their anger disappeared. Seeing Krishna, and they became so much pacified. But then this pastime is noticed by Balaramji, and he said, what is this going on? How could my love for all the boys is as same as Krishna? And then that's why Balaramji also comes to know almost after the end of the year, that it is Krishna only expanding as this many cows and this many boys. So now Sukadeva Goswami is asking this question. After this pastime, Sukadeva Goswami is asking in the next chapter that how in our world, why did all the cows and all the mothers, they got so much attracted to their boys as much as Krishna? So that's where it is explained by Sukadeva Goswami that everybody loves himself or herself the most in this world. Who is dear to you most?
Your own self.
You yourself, right? More than yourself, nobody is more dear to you. Take it for granted. We can be so much selfless or whatnot, but even when it comes to you, nothing is more than that. And who are you? Are you this body? No. Who are you? You are the spirit soul. And who is the soul of the spirit soul? The supreme soul, right? So this is where it is said that no one is more dear to us than Krishna, right? So here is the Sukadeva Goswami is asking that question. We'll read it very quickly. I think we already passed it, right?
Yeah, 50.
Yeah. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, before that Parikshit Maharaj asked the question. King Parikshit said, O Brahmana, how could the cowherd women have developed for Krishna, someone else's son, such unprecedented pure love? Love they never felt even for their own children. Please explain this. Then Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, for every created being, the dearmost thing is certainly his own self. The dearness of everything else, children, wealth, and so on, is due only to the dearness of the self. For this reason, O best of kings, the embodied soul is self-centered. Don't be disappointed. No, we are all self-centered, right? So, don't see things that, oh no, Prabhuji, this is not true. I'm so selfless. But this is not my words, Sukadeva Goswami's word. But please listen to the whole thing. He is more attached to his own body and self than to his so-called possessions like children, wealth, and home. Indeed, for persons who think the body is the self, O best of the king, those things whose importance lies only in their relation to the body are never as dear to the body itself. So understand, if people who are on a bodily platform, for them also their own body is important, more than their bodily connections. If person comes to the stage of considering the body is mine instead of me, he will certainly not consider the body as dear as his own self. After all, even as the body is growing old and useless, one's desire to continue living remains strong. Therefore, it is his own self that is most dear to every embodied living being. And it is simply for the satisfaction of this self that the whole material creation of moving and non-moving entities exist. Now, you should know Krishna to be the original soul of all living entities. For the benefit of the whole universe, he has, out of his causeless mercy, appeared as an ordinary human being. He has done this by the strength of his internal potency. So that now the last two verses are so important. Those in this world who understand Lord Krishna as he is, see all things, whether stationary or moving, as manifest forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such enlightened persons recognize no reality apart from the Supreme Lord Krishna. The original, unmanifested of material nature is the source of all material things, and the source of even the subtle material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. What then could one ascertain to be separate from him? So, we understand, right? Krishna is the essence of our soul, and that's why all those cows and mothers, they love, Krishna more than anything else. So here, when Krishna says that he is the dearmost to us, that is actually the proof from the scriptures. We can say that he is the dearmost, the pastime from his son, right? So let's move to the next slide. Okay. So before that, now 5.29 is a perfect peace formula. How is that? Causes of anxiety of an average person, right? What are the causes? Like fruits of his or her work, his or her possessions, his or her dealing with the other living beings. Right? These three things would make us anxious, right? If I work, who would I use for? Who would I save for? Right? Who would I use for it? Right? My possessions, whatever little property I have, or whatever wealth you have, who does it belong to? People want to use that for family. They think, why not? I work for, it should go to my family. Whether they will be able to maintain it or not. All these things or people will take it away from them or not. And then all the other living beings around us, when we feel competitiveness, oh, my co-workers, my friends, my neighbors, somebody else has more, or how should I deal with that? This is all the things are basically, in nutshell, this is the causes of our anxieties. But looking at this particular verse, whatever I have, the fruits of my, let's go to the next slide. These are the verses. This is actually is the causes of our anxiety. But according to this verse, whatever I make, the ultimate enjoyer is Krishna. I am not the enjoyer. And we'll come to that. That whatever I possess, how long I possess. Right? We see on the other day, we were at a Bhakti Vruksha and Ramchandra was giving the example. So many of the his loved ones, within a week or 2 week period, he get the message for so many people living. Whatever is left over, who is going to use that? Right? Whatever the possessions that we have, we use it only for a time being. Either they say over here, popularly, bank owns it, right? After we pass away, children will take more money and some other bank could own it, right? Basically, the properties or whatever our possessions are there, we are only a tiny bit of time we are managing it. It is being passed over. They think they are enjoying, but no. They are there for some time, it will go to somebody else. And our dealing with the other living entities, Ichha, Dvesha, Samuddhena, when we see Krishna is the dearmost for everyone, including my brother, who would I fight with, right? Ichha, Dvesha, Samuddhena, Krishna loves everyone. Everyone he loves, then who should I really envy? My envying somebody doesn't really take me any closer to Krishna. If I feel enviousness with somebody, that means I don't love Krishna. Is that clear? This is all, see these two parts, attachment, raga and dvesha. I don't know which one is stronger in each one has to really introspect, like which one is stronger. I can't tolerate them. Do you have that in that list? How many people you have? Or I can live without this. How many people you have? It's equally damaging. Equally damaging. Right? Even if we have, as long as we have one person in each category, we are bound to come here. Right? 728. Ichha, Dvesha, Samuddhena, Dvanda Mohena Bharata, Sarva Bhutani Sammoham, Sarge Yanti Parantapam. Just because of that. But according to this verse, this is a perfect peace formula, I should definitely work on it. If I'm so attached to someone, if I'm so envious to someone, I definitely have to work. What's the base of my attachment? The bodily connections, how long it will stay. I have to make it spiritualized. I have to see that these people have been given to me by Krishna. There's a purpose behind it. I should try to help them. I should acknowledge that. I should appreciate that. I should be in gratitude that yes, thank you Krishna for having such nice people around me. That may not be the case when some of us are around. But then you have to say, why should I be really, I should be envious to anybody. Whatever is going through in my individual life, it's only me responsible. Somebody could be messenger, but we don't kill the messenger, right? We don't kill the messengers when there's some email comes, some wrong email comes with the kind of we are having some loss. We don't break the laptop, Or in the olden days when people used to see watch matches, and when they lose, they will break the television set. But what's the point of doing that? Some people become so much involved that because their team lost the match, the television set would be gone. Ultimately, but this is, we don't really, anything comes positive, negative. People are just the vehicles. They are just the medium. They are just bringing it. I don't really have to be attached to that. So according to this formula, this is a really peace formula. If I work on it, if we really keep this in our life, we could be living with so much peace, with the free of our anxiety. Now, this verse is actually, I'm going a little fast, so please forgive me. Krishna is the ultimate destination for all, for the karma yogis, jnana yogis, ashtanga yogis, and bhakti yogis. Right? Yajna means fruitive activities. Tapsa means they are doing austerities to gain the knowledge, and for them also Krishna says that I am the supreme benefactor. When you do the austerities, when you achieve the knowledge, you achieve me only. And then he says that Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, that means is the super soul. He is the super soul. Lord Brahma is praying him into the Brahma Saita. Okay, boys, who will tell me that verse that Krishna says that I am within in the atoms and I am in the universe also, right? Andantarastha paracha paramanu chaya tarastham govindamadi purusham Tamuham bhajami. Krishna is within an atom, and he is the soul of the whole universe, and he is the soul of an atom also. So that is the vision of the yogi. He actually is trying to approach Krishna through the Ashtanga Yoga. And of course, Surhadam Sarva Bhutanam means he is the shelter of the Bhakta, also Bhakti Yogi. Now, for the first time in Gita, Krishna has presented himself as the Surhadam Sarva Bhutanam. Until now, Krishna has said that he is the Brahman, right? Paramatma is also Krishna said into the couple of verses in chapter 5, and then he is the and then as a Brahman, those are the verses in 5.19 and 5.20, where Krishna says that I am the Brahman. For the first time, he actually said that he is the 5.19 and 5.20. We can read quickly. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman. They are already situated in Brahman. And 5.25, those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living entities, are assured of liberation in the Supreme, in the very near future. I'm sorry, I mixed up the two verses. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. So these two verses, they speak about that Krishna is talking about his Brahman feature. And Paramatma, we just know that he spoke about that few verses before. Verse number 28 and 27, they are also about the Ashtanga Yoga. But here, for the first time, Krishna is saying that he is presenting himself as the loving friends of the devotees. And actually all living, Sarva Bhutana. Sarva Bhutana means he is the dearmost person, dearmost friend for all beings. So to know him in one's dear friends, to be in a better position than to approach him for material gain, liberation, or even dutiful devotion. Right? Do you guys agree with me? Why? We approach Krishna as a dear friend. That's a better position than to approach him for material gain, liberation, or even a dutiful devotion. Right? Because we do that. Why? No. So let's go to that. Bhakti gives everything. Why? The results of all this and more are easily attained by one who becomes intimate friend of the one who owns and controls all and everything. Right? If you know, if your friend owns it, if your father owns it, if your mother, sister, father, any loving person has everything. Oh, I'm next to it. Like you're in a crowd of thousands of people, and your friend is a CEO or a prime minister. How does it look like? He says, okay. On the other days, we went to a seminar given by some celebrity, and one of us, we knew him, so we text him, and he said, hey, I'm here. Look at my friend is here. Then everybody's looking at us. Who is these people? Right? No, we all like that. I mean, we didn't know that he would kind of, because that's how they are celebrities. They know how to kind of how to engage the audience. So then everybody said, in an instant, he was able to connect the whole audience. So here, like, if we, from whatever we achieve from the jnana, karma, or yoga, all these things are easily achieved, and even more if we connect with Krishna. Who is Krishna? Who owns and controls all and everything, and the rightful enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities. Right? If we have somebody, this kind of person so close to us, what else do we need? We tiny beings are not the rightful enjoyers of anything. If anybody disagrees, please let me know. Please. Not the controller of anything. If you think, Prabhuji, sorry, we humbly disagree, I would, next day I would start kind of seeing you guys, rather than seeing the Bhagavad Gita. What to speak of everything in existence? We don't control anything. Believe me, we don't control anything. I have seen that time again comes. You don't know, and the things are how inconceivably out of our control. So we don't own anything, we don't enjoy anything, and we don't control anything. However, we can be on intimate terms with the one who is, right? How exciting is that? If I could be in intimate terms with, name any celebrity, right? Even if they know us, then we can say, oh, look at I have a picture with that celebrity. We can share it on all our contact, and they say, oh, when did you see him? Tell us more. Wow. Even if there are celebrities from the, if we list like 1,000 of that, out of, in the list, if their celebrity comes to 1,000, still people adore it. What to speak of the celebrity? So this is so much kind of, we have a very unique opportunity to be intimate with the most, most powerful, most, most kind of wealthy, and at the same time, yes, he was saying that not only that, but he is most lovable. This is so rare, right? When you know somebody who becomes a celebrity, it's very hard. You think that they haven't seen you. That's why they didn't call you. No, that's not the case. They have a very focused tunnel vision. They see only certain things. When you really become that, then you think, oh no, my friend, because he didn't see me. No. But they are so much, they're successful, but they can really pay attention to every little detail. No, there's no way, it's not possible. There's no way. But Krishna is on the other hand, he's so lovable. And I think there's a whole lot more we can say about that, but my time is finished. So I will say that how do we make that connection? Hare Name Eva Kevalam. So these are there are many such verses in the Bhagavatam we can quote about the potency of the Harinam. I will just say these two verses. Apanna samsrutim goram yannama vivasho grunan tata sadhyo vimuccheta yad vibheti swayam vayam. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. Even unconsciously chanting Krishna's name, we could be freed by, what immediately freed by. So what to speak of? Immediately freed by the complicated meshes of birth and death. There's one other verse, and there are, Bhagavatam is throughout the Bhagavatam. This is full of glories of holy name. Etavaneva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmruta bhakti yogo bhagavati tannama grahanadibhi. Right? Devotional service, beginning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, the ultimate religious principles for the living entity in human society. Right? So I made a question that why Krishna is asking that, and I didn't get a chance to come to that. What's the purpose of giving him? Because he's our dearmost friend. He never leaves us, right? That's why Krishna is saying that. And when Krishna is served, we automatically get served. We automatically get satisfied. Krishna is not desirous of anything from us. He actually owns everything. Everything comes from him. So there is nothing that we really can give that. But our gesture, that our sincere desire to give him that, actually makes our life perfected. And that's why Krishna is saying that, that please give it to me. I am the real enjoyer, and if I enjoy, then you enjoy also. And so I would like to end over here. Thank you so much. Granth Bhagavad-Gita ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. if you have some one question or comment, please. Anybody wants to help? I know it's so late, so